If we fail with a year that does not work, we get an error, retry. Your data does not disappear. It takes you back to the screen so you can fix it and move forward with success and navigates you away. Hey everyone, this is My SharePoint Questions and I am Andrew Hess. Today I want to talk to you about your success screen. So once a user hits submit, what do they see when they submit? Do they see anything? Does it just navigate back to the beginning of your app? We're going to take a look at how other people who are probably better than me at app development, how they do their success screens, and then we're going to go in and how we can do it in Power Apps. So if you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. We're going to go over some things and I think you're going to enjoy it. So thank you everyone who's watching and who's already been supporting me. I appreciate it so much. All right, so in Power Apps, we can talk about the easy way to do success, right? This is my app that I've been using for a while. So if you ever want to learn anything that I've done with this app, you can go to one of my previous videos. Most likely it will be in there. So let's say we do have a submit button in our app, and this is the easy way to submit a form, right? We just have a submit form, and I have form 1. I haven't renamed the form, and that's how we send our data to SharePoint or whatever our data source is. So if we go and click on the form, so there's a couple ways to do that. You can click on the white space down here, or you can find your form in the left side tree view, right? So we have form 1. In the advanced properties, we have a couple of options, right? So we can notify the user on success, and I promise you this is the easy way. This is not everything I want to show you, but I'm just gonna talk through this real quick. On success, we can notify the user, and on failure, we can also notify the user. So when you notify, you can say success. And in the IntelliSense, you do the comma and it kind of guides you through what you want to do next. So we could just say notify success type and we're done. That's going to give us a green message at the top. I'll show you real quick. On failure, let's see. Let's do on failure. Notify failed. Of course, you want to make more of a friendly message than just failed, but this is just going to be, my demonstration. And so we have .error here. So let's go ahead and submit something. And if we hit submit, we get a green message up at the top that says success. And the same thing will happen if there's a failure. Let's say if we let's see if we can put a bad date in here. 001. Let's try and submit. See what happens. You notice now it says failed, right? But what was the big thing that happened here that we didn't want to happen? Was we navigated away from our screen once the user filled out the information. Now if he goes back to new task, everything's blank. You just ruined the user's experience, right? So what can you do there to fix that? So right now in our submit button, we navigate away. Instead of putting it on the submit button, let's put it on the success statement. On success, we navigate off of our form. That's huge, right? You don't want your users have to come in here and retype everything if they failed. You're just going to push people away from your app. And that's the last thing that we want to do, is have people move away from our app because they don't like the UX, which would be the user experience. All right, so that's the easy way to do success screen. Now let's look at how people do success screens maybe better than me. There's lots of app development out there. You could look at almost any form online. And let's just look up app success screen. So we can look in here, and I guess I'll just go to Pinterest. I've kind of looked through this already. And we can see how other people have done success screens. So these people are probably better than me at app development, but that's how I learn, is I see how other people are doing it, and then I modify what I want to do. So you see how they have the green check mark with a circle, and it's just green and it says epic, or maybe that's not a friendly message you want to share with your users right there. Oh poop, that might not be professional, right? It depends on your app. Maybe that is. Maybe your app is about cleaning toilets or plumbing. Who knows? Maybe that is what you want. Here's one with a cloud. Maybe that's what you want to use for Power Apps. Good. It went to the cloud. Failed. It didn't go to the cloud. And here's a really good one. I like this. Upload failed. Press retry or cancel. Retry or cancel. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm done. I'm not going to retry again. So that gives the user two options. And we can kind of look through here, and you can see, I really like this one with the smiley faces and the sunglasses. Who knows? Maybe it's some kind of beach app. And you can kind of just look through and see how other people do their success screens on their Power App. So I think that's huge, right? I really think that's huge, that whatever you're trying to do in Power Apps and you really want to do it correctly, look at how the professional world is already doing it. All right, so let's go to Power Apps. And how are we going to do this? So you can see, I have a few tests in here now. So from my previous videos, I do have a separate way that I have been doing task save button. I have a patch statement. So I'm using patch here instead of submit. And so if you do patch, there's a few different ways to do this. For me, the easiest way is to create a new variable. And so we have our patch statement here. We're going to create a new variable, but this is a global variable. So you have context variables and global variables. We can set a global variable patch success. And then we can just, put an ending parentheses here. So set variable patch success with our patch statement. Now, after we set this variable patch success, I'm going to remove this navigate, because we don't want to navigate if we fail. Right? So now that we've set this variable, what we're going to do, and we're going to say if is not blank. So blank. So we're going to use an exclamation mark for blank. And then we're going to say is blank, and we're going to say variable patch success. Then what we're going to do is we're going to notify. So same thing we did before. Success. Then we're going to say notify type success. Else we're going to notify failure with an error. And then we're going to close the if statement. All right, so let's go ahead and try it out. So let's do a new task. And this is a new task. All right, and we're going to make sure that whatever date we pick does not work. Right, so we have a year that does not work, and we're going to hit save. You notice that it says failure, and then let's go ahead and do a success now. Change the year to a year that will work. And let's hit save. Now this time it did say success. Now what it's doing is it's setting this variable patch success. If it's blank, so get rid of the not there. If it is blank, then it's actually going to fail. But if it's successful, it's going to pass. And the reason is, so the selected due date, if we were to bring in that variable in here, so let's do a variable patch success, and we're going to say due date. Now, if this is blank, it's going to fail. So let's put it in there. That's blank. We'll put it in 0001. If this is blank, it fails. You notice that it's blank. But when we have a successful year, we'll notice that it will pass. So it's checking all of the columns that you're patching in your patch statement. And it's saying if you're successful or not. All right. So now that we showed the easy way, let's actually create a success screen like we saw before. For my success screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a HTML text. Now, if you want to see how I do these gradient boxes, you can watch one of my other videos. I do have a few videos on creating gradient HTML text. So I just put in that code here that I had prepared already. And so it's just pulling in a gradient box. And so now I have my my success screen. I don't want to navigate away until someone says okay or someone wants to retry. So on the success screen, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some text in here. Maybe we'll make it nice and large. Let's see if we can make a nice large text. I need to spell success right. Maybe that would be successful. My success was very wrong. All right. So let's use success text and maybe change the font a little bit, you know. So we have success. If we look back at some of these options, you know, we had yes, done, continue. I like the check marks, the check mark with a circle around it. So to me, that's probably something we can do very simply. So we have a check badge, right? Let's make it pretty big. And we can change the color of it to maybe black. How about that? Just to max. And then we'll have a button. And we'll remove the border radius on it. And I believe if we look back again, you know, usually their buttons, it says, there's continue down here, but that one's round. Maybe we'll just do continue. Okay, thanks. We'll say continue. Continue, and I will put a border radius back on it. Let's maybe make the border radius larger. Let's try even larger than that. Let's go, there we go. Make the continue button pretty large. And there we go. We have our success screen. Now, once you have the success screen, you'll notice that it's multiple parts, right? So we have our HTML text, we have our label and our icon. What you do is you hold down Control, you click on the button, the icon, the text, and the HTML text, and you press Control G. Control G turns it into a group. And I'm going to rename it to Group Success. And so on Group Success, we're going to turn this into, we're going to make a variable here. If variable success is equal to true, then we're going to say it's true, else it's false. All right, and so then now when we go back to our save button, instead of notify on success right here, we're going to say update context variable success true. True. And we have to do our curly brackets. There we go. So now, if it is blank, we're using that same equation. Update context variable success is true. And then on our button, so let's go back to it. So we're gonna have success. We're gonna see our success screen. On this button, we're gonna say update context variable success to false. So we're gonna make the screen disappear, and then we're gonna navigate back to our first screen, which may be screen 1 for me. Let's see. Screen 2 actually for me. So now when we hit success, we continue and go back to our screen. Come on. We're professionals now, right? I feel like that's so professional. It looks amazing, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and do the failure one just for demonstration purposes. I won't put it in the video, but I'll let you take a look. So I'll create that right now. All right, so I created my variable error. So if you take a look, now when we get an error, you know, I have a nice big screen that says error. And this time when you hit retry, it just takes you back to the screen. You don't navigate. So if you're successful, and then navigate, oh, we got to put in a good year. If you're successful, it then navigates you away after you hit success. But if you fail, we go back into this one. If we fail with a year that does not work, we get an error, retry, your data does not disappear. It takes you back to the screen so you can fix it and move forward with success and navigates you away. Now, you guys can come up with your own ideas. That's just what I could create really quickly. To me, I think it looks really good and it will improve anybody's app, right? So just take a look at what other people have done. If you want to add your own, graphics, you kind of take a look at what everyone else has here. Continue, try again, modify it to how you'd like, create your own success screen, and there you go. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time.